Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, the Young CEO, back at it again. We are here. We are going to be discussing the crypto markets, right? There's a lot of different things that's been going on within the crypto industry, right? You have Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high at 72,000, right? It is March, right? We're towards the end of March, right? We're about to go into the next, the next halving. We're about to witness and experience another halving, right? And due to the halving, right, Bitcoin does go through a supply shock, right? And because Bitcoin does go through a supply shock, that actually triggers the bull run, right, for that parabolic move up, right? But we've had a lot of different news and a lot of different things come out within crypto, right? As well as the Federal Reserve, right? The Federal Reserve this past week, they actually decided to keep rates the same, right? And that does have a huge effect on the market, whether or not the Feds are going to cut rates or whether they're going to keep them the same, whether they're going to raise rates, right? That does have an actual effect on the market, right? Now, the catalyst, right? There's a lot of catalysts that's coming up that will have an effect on crypto, right? We have the Federal Reserve, right? They're supposed to be cutting rates throughout the year, right? They actually they said that last year. They came out and actually said, Jerome Powell, right, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, said that he would come out and this year we will actually cut rates, right? That's because inflation has actually been slowing down, right? When we see inflation slowing down, right, we actually they are going to want to cut rates, right? Now, when inflation is going up, right, and increasing, that's when they would like to raise rates to basically slow down commerce, right? That actually slows down commerce, as well as it makes it more expensive to actually borrow the US dollar, right? So when they cut rates, right, that means that inflation is decreasing, right? And we're getting the correction that we need within the market, right? Now, that's the first catalyst, right? So rate cuts means that markets, the US dollar, will lose will lose its value. And because the US dollar will lose its value, right? A lot of other assets are pegged against the US dollar. You have Bitcoin USD, you have a lot of foreign currencies like Euro USD, GBP USD, right? These currencies will actually start to rise, right, when we see those rate cuts, right? Now, the next catalyst we have is the Bitcoin halving, right? The Bitcoin halving is literally within a 1 month, right? We have April, and that's when the Bitcoin halving will occur in April, right? So that's going to happen, and that actually triggers a parabolic move within Bitcoin, right? Historically, Bitcoin has reached new all-time highs after each halving, right, which triggers the bull run, right? So we have that, and then obviously, as of lately, we have seen the Bitcoin ETFs get approved, right? And these big investment firms like Fidelity, BlackRock, Vanguard, right? These big investment firms are actually, these huge investment firms are actually Vanguard, right? A lot of these huge institutions are actually buying Bitcoin, right? They're buying Bitcoin. They're buying Bitcoin by the batch, right? They're continuing to buy Bitcoin every single day. And this is because obviously in order for their ETFs to be backed by anything, they have to actually buy actual Bitcoin, right? In order for them to actually offer these ETFs to their clients, right? So there's three major catalysts, right? I might be missing some, but there's three major catalysts. You have the Bitcoin halving, which is occurring in April. You have the Feds that are actually about to, talking about cutting rates, right, within, mid-year towards the end of the year, right? And then we also have the Bitcoin ETF approval, right? So there's a lot of different things that are at hand that are catalysts for the markets to just go crazy and just rise, right? This is an opportunity for a lot of investors to get into the market. And, I don't think we're not going to see a $30,000 Bitcoin anymore. That's gone, right? We're not going to see a $1,000, $1,500 Ethereum, right? That's gone, right? So these prices aren't going to be here for much longer, right? Because of the catalysts that we're seeing at hand, right? You have BlackRock, right? One of the things that I actually wanted to mention to you guys is this huge news by BlackRock, right? BlackRock actually, BlackRock launches digital asset fund backed by 100 million USDC on Ethereum. Right? BlackRock has other plans for crypto other than Bitcoin, right? They look like they are interested within, other assets within the crypto industry, right? Now, one of the rumors that I did hear is that they will be coming out with their own stable coin. If I'm not mistaken, that's what I've heard. That's one of the rumors that I've heard. But obviously, because we have the Bitcoin ETF approval, right? There's been a lot of word about a lot of speculation about an Ethereum ETF, which I think that's definitely in the talks. I think that's not if, but when that will happen, right? When the Ethereum ETF will happen, because I don't think Ethereum an Ethereum ETF is if it will happen, but it's more so when it will happen, right? And then obviously you have these other coins like Solana, Polkadot, right? Chainlink. You have all of these other coins and tokens, right? That I think a lot of these big institutions are going to be interested in, right? So I think BlackRock, right, because they literally launched a digital asset fund backed by 100 million USDC on Ethereum, they could be buying altcoins, right? They could be buying altcoins, right? When I mean altcoins, they could be buying your favorite altcoins. They could be buying altcoins on Ethereum's network, such as, you have Chainlink, right? That's right on Ethereum's network. Uniswap, right? You have Sandbox, right? You have a lot of all of these coins and tokens running on Immutable X, right? You have all of these different altcoins running on the network. This is major, guys. This is major. Like, while you're selling your altcoins, BlackRock is buying your altcoins, right? Like that's literally what is going on within the space, right? So I mean, it's insane, right? It's insane the amount of catalyst that we're getting, right? Because if you guys understand, right, the flow of crypto, Bitcoin pumps first, then we get our altcoins, right? BlackRock sees some opportunity and potential within that altcoin pump, right? When the altcoins do pump and when the altcoins do go up, right? Because at the end of the day, Bitcoin is great. There's nothing against Bitcoin. Bitcoin is awesome, right? But with Bitcoin, right, it doesn't have much utility. It's very scarce. It's more looked at as a commodity, right? Whereas Ethereum and a lot of these other projects like Solana, right? These guys are open source blockchains that actually have smart contracts, right? And these smart contracts, right, they're actually a lot of other developers are able to come onto the blockchain and develop a lot of different decentralized applications on that blockchain, right? So obviously the use case and the technology between Ethereum and Bitcoin is major, right? And that's why I believe BlackRock wants to get their hands on Ethereum, because we're gonna see an Ethereum ETF one day, and BlackRock definitely wants to get ahead of a lot of different other institutional investment firms, as you can see, right? So this is major news, right? This is major news, and there's nothing to take lightly, right? But as you see here, Bitcoin is trading around 65K right now. Obviously, before the halving, I would like to see a dip, right? Because we did hit $72,000 in the market, right? That's literally trading a new all-time high, and that's never been seen before. Before it goes into the next halving, right? So that. And I believe that's because we had a lot of the institutions buying Bitcoin, right? By the thousands, right? By the hundreds of Bitcoin per day being bought, right? Thousands of Bitcoin being bought per day, right? There's a lot of buying momentum because of these Bitcoin ETFs that just came out, right? So you got Bitcoin sitting at 65K, and you got Ethereum sitting at 3,400. Right, you got Solana moving into the top 5 coins, right? Solana was actually above BNB, right? Solana was fourth in the spot, right? Within this week's within the top 4 market cap for this week, right? So Solana has a lot of potential. We're looking at $176 Solana right now. I think that's very undervalued, despite exactly what the technology is behind Solana. It's man, the blockchain it's very fast, right? It's more efficient than Ethereum, right? The only thing with Solana's blockchain is the outages, which we haven't seen a lot of those lately. But Solana does have a potential to be $1,000 coin one day. I believe specifically it would be $1,000 coin within this next bull run, right? So I think Solana is a great buy, and a great buy to get into the markets, right? I can see Solana and Ethereum have a lot of similarities, right, when it comes to their blockchains, but also it has a lot of similarities when it comes to their price action, right? What I mean price action, if you look at the chart, they look damn near the same, right? If you look at Ethereum in 2017, and if you look at Solana right now, right, it's basically a similar or identical chart, right? So that's gonna be crazy, right? Let's see what that looks like then. All right, but I believe that we definitely do get a dip. I'm saying anywhere between 50 to $48,000 for our potential dip, because obviously the market has been going on a complete tear. I want to see a little correction in the market before we actually do decide to pump higher within this next bull run, right? If you look at Ethereum's chart, right, this is exactly what Solana did, right? Especially within this bull run. Obviously, we're not talking about the prices here, but because Ethereum ran all the way to 3,000. But if you look at Ethereum within the 2021 bull run, 2020 bull run, right? 2020 halving, right? When it came for Bitcoin, right? 2020, 21 bull run, right? As you can see here, we got this level right here in the markets. We got this level right here in the markets, right? And if you look at Solana's chart, that's exactly the same thing that has occurred, right? It's exactly the same thing that has occurred, right? We got one of those exactly right here, right? And if you could see, right, the make sure this is gone. As you can see, right, Solana and Ethereum has the exact same. Where did it go? Oh, over here. Okay. Has the exact same catalyst, has the exact same price action, right? And once that level gets broken, price just starts going on a tear. All right. Now, for Solana, we could potentially see the same exact thing. Why does it keep on doing that? We could possibly see the exact same thing. Right now, we did get a break of this level, right? Obviously, if we break above this level, I think that Solana, we already got that retracement down into that weekly area, right? Into that weekly candle. And probably, we could probably go parabolic, not from here, but once this bull run starts, I think Solana easily hit $1,000, right? I mean, because obviously a lot of adoption when it comes to Solana's blockchain has occurred within the last couple of years, right? Especially within the bear market. So, I think that we will see a huge run up for Solana, right? And I do believe that there could be talks about there already is talks about a Solana ETF in place, right? And occurring one day. And honestly, I believe that, that something that could possibly be brought to the table. I'm not going to say it will happen, but that's something that could possibly be brought to the table. And if we do get a Solana ETF, right, the amount of institutions that will be buying Solana is going to be crazy, right? And that will push price even much higher, right? Look at what happened to Bitcoin, right? Once the Bitcoin ETFs were approved, right? Bitcoin literally had a full recovery and created a new all-time high, right? Now for Solana, right? If we do see a Solana ETF, we could see Sol probably hit not just 1,000, but a couple $1,000, right, per coin. So, that's something that's it's still in the conversation to happen, right? When it comes to Bitcoin, obviously in previous market cycles, right, you've had before the halving has occurred, you've had a huge pullback within the market, right? This huge correction in the market right here, right before the halving event, right? And then price just went parabolic. But this was also COVID, right? This was COVID that occurred, that made Bitcoin basically crash, right? That was COVID, right? And then we had that huge run up, right? But if you look at previous bull cycles, right, we always have some sort of pullback before the parabolic phase, right? And this pullback is massive pullbacks. It's not like this is a 31% pullback, right? So, when it comes to this next cycle, right, I believe we are due for a correction. We already actually are getting the correction, right? But I believe before we do run up to the upside, I believe we do get a correction probably back at the $50 to $48,000 range for Bitcoin, right? So, that's very important to understand, because it's not, obviously I don't want to be the guy to be like, don't DCA, right? But if you want to get into positions before Bitcoin actually does like really go to the $100,000 level, right? Because that's not a matter of, for this also, it's not a matter of it's not a matter of if it gets to 100,000. It's a matter of when it gets to 100,000, right? But as long as you can see here, right, I can see us Bitcoin, going to that 50K level, and then we get that move up after the halving. Or if we don't get there by the halving, we might get there post halving, and then a couple months after post halving, we will see that parabolic first move up, right? And usually when it comes to Bitcoin, we do get 3 waves, right? 3 to 4 waves when it comes to that bull run phase, right? We have the first wave, right, which I'll show you guys right now. I'll break it down to you guys. I'll highlight it. We got that first wave up right here. This is wave number 1. Then we got wave number 2. You could kind of say, I believe that Bitcoin halving occurred in May, but you could say May started around here. So May 2020, we got that first run up, right? So that's wave 1. Then we get wave 2. And then, in 2021, we didn't really get the wave that we wanted, right? The third wave is usually the biggest wave, right? But, we did create a new all-time high for that third wave, and then we entered the bear market. So Bitcoin has 3 waves when it comes to post-halving, right? So that's something that will occur again, right? Because historically this has occurred every single halving, right? So patterns do repeat itself in the market. So obviously we come back down here, first wave will start. I can see if we get that retracement back down to these 50K, 50,000 to $48,000 levels, right? I can see us, starting that run, that first wave up, right? And by the way, this is also a fair value gap as well. So I definitely want to see at least the 50K level get filled in, and maybe we trade back down into this fair value gap, right? Who knows? But that's kind of what I am anticipating in this moment in time, right? For Bitcoin, right? And obviously after we see Bitcoin make that first move, then we'll see all these other altcoins make its first move. But when it comes to the dip, right? If Bitcoin does come down here, right? Which I don't, there's nothing preventing it from doing that, right? I could see Bitcoin, if it wants to, it could come down there. But worst case scenario, this is worst case scenario in my opinion. But Bitcoin could actually come down to 50, 54, 53,000. Now, if a catalyst occurs, right? Like for example, in 2020 when we had COVID, right? Bitcoin could potentially come back down to 30, 31, but I don't think that's even in the conversation because we have all of this ETF. We got approved for the ETF, and all these firms and a lot of these big asset managers are buying Bitcoin by hundreds of thousands of dollars by the day, right? So I don't really think that's in the conversation. But if we go off of historic data, right, Bitcoin does have the potential to come down here if we go off of historic data. But since we do have a catalyst, which is the ETFs, I don't think that Bitcoin will actually hit a $30,000 level ever again. Right, there has to be something crazy for that to actually happen, right? But then you have Ethereum. I see Ethereum. If Bitcoin does retrace, a lot of these altcoins will have a bigger retracement when it comes to, when it comes to the retracement before the dip. Before the halving. I'm sorry, guys, before the halving, but that's something that that's a part of crypto, right? Bitcoin makes its first moves and then everything else follows. So when it comes down to that, that's basically what I'm anticipating, right? We have a lot of different catalysts at hand. We have the Feds that will be cutting rates, that came out and said that they will cut rates sometime this year, right? We have the Bitcoin halving ahead of us, and obviously we had that Bitcoin ETF that was approved, right? And you have talks about Coinbase actually wanting to come out and actually create a fund and kind of create their own ETF, right, as well. So you have a lot of other bigger institutional you have a lot of other companies, big institutional capital wanting to come in and actually create a fund for Bitcoin, create an ETF for Bitcoin, right, and join and really hop on the bandwagon when it comes to these Bitcoin ETFs, right? And then you have BlackRock, right, doing its thing with altcoins. So there's a lot of major catalysts. There's a lot of positive news out here, right? Don't let the FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, or FOMO, get you out of your positions, or make you chase an investment that you don't really need to, right? So this is interesting. This is an interesting, this is going to play out great. I see this is going to be the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest bull run to occur due to the smart money, due to a lot of, smart money capital coming into the markets, right? Finally coming into the markets. A lot of big investment firms coming into the markets, big institutions coming in, huge governments getting involved, right? This is going to be massive, and for you to actually miss out on it, right? This is an opportunity that's sitting right in front of you, right in front of your face, right? So obviously, it's up to you to take it, but I'm not going to be the one to be over here persuading you to buy crypto, because that's not what we do. We just inform you about what's going on into the markets, and it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to trade and invest into this market. All right. So without further ado, right, I'll see you guys on the side of success. Please make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and make sure that you guys actually join my email list, right? The email list is actually in the link in the description, right? For any updates on crypto, please actually join the email list, right? I have a lot of huge surprises coming out as well for you guys. So, I can't wait to, bring that to you and, see you guys grow as investors and traders, right? And how we could help each other do that, right? So it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to actually show you guys, the new project that I've been working on, right? Me and my team, we have been working on to really bring to you guys and make sure that you guys have the knowledge and have what it takes to actually play within this market, right? So without further ado, make sure you guys go like, comment, subscribe,